Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Apex Academy. This is session 3 of our Masked a New Generation live stream that we're doing. We're glad that you've decided to catch up with us and see how we're doing. And I'm going to hand it over to our Game Master, Simon, who is going to start off our school day and tell us where we are.
Previously on Apex Academy. Well, previously on Apex Academy, Prometheus got everyone in potentially in trouble when he tried to gain forbidden knowledge from arcane sources, then got himself attacked in his dorm room by plants. Broke the window, trying to get rid of them. And most recently, the team has been brought before the headmistress and basically put on double secret probation because they couldn't keep their stories straight. I think you'll probably want to do that today.
I absolutely do. You're taking my pet, Simon.
He's going somewhere where he can run around.
He's going to a farm upstate.
Yeah.
Hey Dan, it looks like we lost your video.
That farm upstate is called Scotland.
Taking it to a farm upstate usually means they're taking it out to the woods to be shot. Like, come on, guys.
I'm familiar with the euphemism.
That's my pet, and you're taking him.
In fact, I had myself this sort of rude awakening of like, wait a minute, when my parents said they were taking our dog to a farm, and so I asked my mom about that at one point. I think I'd graduated from college at that point. And she said, no, we actually just took her to a farm because she was a full-grown Newfoundland, and we didn't have the wherewithal. I went through the sort of phase of believing, and then sort of disillusion, and then like, oh, huh. Well, it was a much nicer ending than I was expecting. Anyway,
I'm still cranky. You're taking my pet. I want to go talk to him.
All right. Well, for the time being, that's been the homeroom, and we can sort of montage through the school day unless there are downtime activities that you want to have with each other or with other members of the school community.
The only real downtime information or that Victor is really looking to do is I'm looking to work with the professor, and I wish I had saved that document into my drive. What is the name of the professor of magic at the right, I can't switch between windows anyway because it messes with the camera feeds.
People call him either Guardian or the Japanese version is Shugosha.
I'm looking to work on some sort of more... I'm not very skilled at making magical items.
Okay.
And I'm looking to make something that I can put on myself or one of my compatriots to make them more difficult to track by magical means.
All right. So he says this sounds like an excellent project to work on together. And that he'll draw up a sort of study plan for the two of you to sort of walk through the steps of it.
Okay. Is there anything I need to roll to make that happen?
Yeah, go for a provoke.
Alright. Before anybody says anything, I know my camera is off. Running the OBS camera while actually streaming out is overloading the encoder. That is a 10.
Huh. I did not see that come out. Let me try reloading. But that is a full-blown success, so basically what's the outcome you want?
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to create an item that has the disadvantage that it's basically like creates a area of silence, like magical silence. So it means that I can put it on someone or myself to make it so I'm difficult to track by magical means, or I could give it to Daedalus or Discordia or Nullzone or another ally. But if I wear it myself, I can't use magic while I'm wearing it. I think that would be a nice disadvantage, where the most effective way of making it so somebody couldn't be tracked by magic is that magic basically does not work around them, so it can't locate them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. He says that his particular magical tradition that he's trained in is one of sort of negotiating with and binding spirits. And so what he can do for you is either give you help you produce an amulet that will create a sort of static field where this sort of wisping in and out of little spirit energy will conceal your specific signature, or he can help you develop something that will cloak you. A spirit will sort of put a cloak over you, but will produce a sort of conspicuous absence, a potentially conspicuous absence, if someone is looking where you are.
I mean, I think that would be the best choice, would be the latter. That's more what I'm going for. I would like the item itself to be fairly inconspicuous, like to normal eyes. Like, I don't want it to be, and why are you wearing that giant fucking brooch? You know what I'm saying? Like, so could we put it on a mundane item, something that an ordinary teenager would wear, a simple necklace or bracelet?
Baseball hat.
Baseball hat, because you can't wear baseball hats in all situations, right? I don't want this to be negated by a teacher with a penchant for making people take their hats off inside, right?
Gotcha.
So they don't cheat.
Something like a wristwatch?
Watch would be perfect.
All right. Bring in, for the next time I see you, bring in a watch, preferably one that has personal significance to you. If you don't have one, we can work around it, but it'll be tougher. So, basically, the more personal significance the item has to you, the easier it is to bind the spirit to it, to you, through it.
Okay.
So, pick something that is, if you want inconspicuous, try to balance that with the need for personal connection.
Okay, perfect. I thank him very much for his time.
All right. Anyone else have other school drama you want to do?
Nope.
Knowing that Hector is the other prankster, I think it would make total sense if I would get with him to plan something. I don't know what yet, but I want to plan something with him.
Okay. Well, we can hold on to that thread for later.
The only thing I can think of is I would probably avoid Victor for like the first entire day after that encounter, just to be petty, because I'm mad.
Fair enough.
Please remind me, do you still have a condition mark?
Me? Do we clear those at the end of session? God?
I'm trying to think if there's any rule contravening that, but I think so.
Well, if we take them off, then obviously no, but if I had to leave them on, then I am afraid.
I'm gonna call this item the Seiku instead of the Seiko, because ku is the Japanese word for the void or nothingness.
Okay. Dan, do you happen to know about clearing conditions between sessions?
I believe the clearing of conditions between sessions is I believe it's the comfort someone and pierce the mask that can do it. Give me 1 second.
Okay. That.
I don't think I don't think it happens organically unless you in fiction get treatment.
Okay, well, I'm pissed and I'm afraid and I'm avoiding him and I'm spending the day with Null Zone, basically, because it's like, hey, Prozac, every few minutes can I have a pop? Does that count?
I'm sure there will be no long-term repercussions to that.
Hey. I'm looking at clearing conditions. It says comfort or support and defend, or some basic moves that help you clean it. Otherwise, you need to take a specific action to relieve the emotional state. So, what did you say you were again? No, afraid.
Yes.
To clear afraid, you have to actively run from something difficult. And then at the end of the scene, you will clear the condition if you don't get comfort or support.
I don't know how to justify that. I mean, I'm actively avoiding my best friend and the source of this conflict. I probably spend the entire day, like, poor Clymene, because, like, he's digging on Eris, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
That's obviously why you're around me.
she spends the entire day bitching about Victor. Like, I don't know if I want to avoid him for the rest of my life so that I'm not around when these people get here, if I want to sit on his head so I know when they're coming.
Calm down. And
Right, exactly.
maybe after like the 5th time, I just hike you up just to see what that...
Well, you don't want to do that. I'm going to end up, like, doing that thing that like, don't you remember in high school how girls would, like, smack you all the time to get your attention? Like, you're gonna end up with bruises.
Oh my god, I didn't notice that because the Canada Dry bottle is green. Look at this. I had to turn the... Well, you'll see it later.
Okay.
It's full of stars.
So, if I remember right, Null Zone, you were going to try to contact your sort of family friend help get a sense of what's going on in the West Hills.
Yes, I do believe that was what we had figured out. So I guess I'm going to ask if anybody wants to make a trip at it while we're going and seeing our giant friend before he wanders off to Scotland, and then we can go actually do something vaguely relating to classwork.
Yes, I would love to get away from campus right now.
Even though it's with Victor?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Well, Bertie was just saying that she'd be happy to get off the campus, so I'm going to ask her rather pointedly, even though it's with you, since she just specifically was saying how much she was trying to avoid.
Well, again, I did finish with, I don't know if I want to avoid or sit right on top of him, so that I know when they're coming.
Well, I guess in this case, fight wins the fight or flight contest.
Well, she's a bull. It's going to be fight most times.
Fair enough. All right, so, well, it's I'll say that Null Zone, Rickbat, your family friend, says, you know what? Stop by this afternoon, but I want you kids to see things for yourself before I sort of fill in all the blanks for you. I want you to tell me what you think the neighborhood needs first. And then I'll talk to you about my experience here. You can come and meet me at my apartment, when you're done with that.
That sounds good. So I guess in game terms, what I would like to do is before we see him, I'd like to do an assess the situation while we're kind of strolling. I can't talk. Strolling around the neighborhood as he suggests.
Yeah, we'll get there. I was just trying to lay out the schedule before you left campus. So I guess you'll go and visit Bulgrid at the clearing north of town. And then you can head out to the West Hills.
And then wrap up the evening with visiting him, maybe catching some dinner, and then be back in time for to blatantly flaunt.
Well, flout curfew, not flaunt it.
Whichever. I'm tired in real life.
So the one of the main things that my character is very interested in this assignment. But I think he thinks that it's a perfect opportunity to rectify a common mistake that he sees a lot of other heroes making. And that is, a lot of other heroes tell the city and tell the people what they need, instead of asking the communities what they want and what they need. Right? So
Makes sense.
I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to hit the bricks and distinguish ourselves by not being as aloof as maybe some of the other teams are when it comes to the ordinary citizens.
You're probably the most humble teenager in this entire
He's not humble when it comes to his abilities. He's humble when it comes to understanding what ordinary people
What they really like is being called ordinary people by you.
Right. Well, he wouldn't say that to them.
Not out loud, anyway.
He would use a euphemism like hardworking people.
Commoners, plebeians.
Well, we can move on, unless there's other school business. We can move on to the next scene.
No, I don't have any other downtime stuff.
No
Yeah.
more school business.
Okay. So I guess you'll go out to visit Bulgrid. Are you going to wear your uniforms as you were wearing when you first met him, or?
Well, I assumed since we were going out to actually talk with the community, we'd wear whatever our official uniforms are. I mean, that seems to make sense.
All right, everyone, uniforms.
You mean like the school uniforms or superhero uniforms?
Our superhero uniforms.
Yeah, I would be in my red paisley suit with my black dress shirt and my like bright white tie and my cane and my domino mask.
Okay. So everyone's going costumes.
Yep.
As you approach the clearing, you see some commotion going on around it. Not in a bad way, just sort of hustle and bustle of sort of work crews trying to figure out accommodations. You know, find like a shipping container, but for a really
giant
big guy.
A giant shipping container, if you will.
It's like he's on one of those container boats that carries other container boats, and someone just kind of has a hologram of a container boat up, so he's lying on top.
And so you got sort of the work crews around him being supervised by a pair of costumed individuals. Which one of you is the most sort of geeky about? Would be the most geeky about sort of international heroes?
Probably not me.
I'm gonna say maybe not geeky, but since my parents are heroes, I might be the most knowledgeable, if not the most geeky.
Okay. Aaron, any or Daedalus, any objections there? So,
No, I don't think so. No, I'm good.
I'll say then that Nullzone, you recognize at least one of them as the English speedster Swift. He's probably one of England's more famous heroes. Does the sorts of things that the Flash would be famous for doing, and is a sort of jokester and japester as he fights crime. And so he seems to be sort of in command here.
And are they addressing like an emergency situation, or they're just in the neighborhood?
They're talking to the work crew. They're sort of like pointing in directions and sort of supervising the work.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're there to take Volgrud to Scotland.
Yeah.
Is Volgrud anywhere to be seen, or has he already been packed up?
Weirdly enough, you do not see him initially. It would normally.
What do you mean initially?
As in, you would expect on your approach to see him from a great distance because he's like 75 feet tall. But even when you sort of enter the scene, you don't really see him standing around anywhere.
Don't like that. Where's my giant?
Well, what are you going to do about that?
I'm probably.
Go ahead.
I'll probably be kind of like sharing who it is. It's like, oh yeah, I remember seeing my parents having a news conference with that guy one. That's what's his face, Swift from.
I mean, I'm gonna walk up to him and say, Mr. Swift, where's Balgrud?
Oh. You're familiar with him then? Does he know you?
We're the ones
Biz?
that calmed him down and got
Little
him
lady.
to come up here.
My friend here, Discordia, is the one that led him away from the city.
Ah. All right.
And I'm going like this, and I'm basically like using my third eye to try to see if they've just made him invisible.
Okay. I can't. When you say going like this, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm doing like the magician's like make a box of true sight by focusing your mind.
All right. You don't perceive any sort of illusion or concealment, magical concealment. So, if you know him, I don't want you to be concerned. We'll go take you to him. Let me introduce you to my colleague, Minnie. Minnie is helping us with the transportation. She is a size manipulator.
Oh, so we'll be able to hear him now.
So, for the transportation, we've reduced him in size, but he will be restored to his natural size once we arrive.
What are you gonna put him on a jet or what?
He seems most comfortable with ocean travel. We are of the opinion that because the size reduction has a certain amount of instability associated with it, it might be unwise, imprudent to put him onto an airplane. We have more margin for error, you understand?
Yeah.
So, aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's a steamer. It's a cargo vessel, but it's what Her Majesty was willing to offer. So that's what we're bringing them. We're going to bring him back for now, and we'll see if we can't get him home.
Speaking of, has he been now that we've reduced him? Has anyone questioned him about what he remembers before he showed up in our beautiful bay?
We're really going to leave that to the experts once we get him to Scotland. We have people, for that sort of thing, little lady.
At least you won't be a giant problem.
I just kind of look at Discordia, and I just kind of raise my eyebrows, and we kind of share a look as he's glancing around at the workmen.
Absolutely. Simon, I love you. That just made me bird angry.
And I just kind of make like a deflation hand gesture where I'm just like,
Well, I'm mad at you too, so you're not helping. Oh man. Alright, well, I am going to ask this kind gentleman if I can say goodbye to my friend before he leaves.
I don't think there should be any problem with that.
where is he?
And he leads you back to a large-sized cargo container. And opens a giant cargo-sized door. And inside, you can see a bed and a table,
An air conditioning unit, I hope.
an air conditioning unit, sort of climate control. It's not luxurious, but it looks very habitable.
No men in plastic suits with plastic walls and face masks.
No, I mean, to a great extent, they've tried to sort of furnish it as a 17th, 18th century British dwelling.
Oh, and in Portland, that would go for $1,600 a month.
Now, Bulger's not really on the tiny house movement. Not really down with that. But you see Bulger there. He's now about 15 feet tall.
So, imminently more manageable, but still noticeably large.
Yeah, he's still
That's
very
awesome.
big. He's still a very big guy.
Is Minnie with us?
Yeah, Minnie hasn't really said much. She's sort of following Swift's lead.
I'm gonna straight up ask a question of Minnie directly. I say, are the effects of your abilities permanent? Because if so, the applications for the reductions of things like trash and nuclear waste materials could be incredible.
Oh, well, I'd never thought of that, sir.
Well,
How kind of you to...
I'm sensing a little sarcasm. I'm more curious, as I'm unfamiliar with you, as to whether or not that's something that you engage in your own area
It's
of
actually
operation.
incredibly difficult and draining for me to maintain these size manipulations over time.
That makes sense.
It is constant exertion of effort to reduce or enlarge things away from their natural size and density.
Sure. And does the amount of will required for you change if you're affecting yourself as opposed to others, or living as opposed to inanimate objects? He's just genuinely curious, and he has his big notebook out that he just kind of snaps his fingers and it comes out of his little dimensional pocket backpack.
He's doing a Deku.
Yeah.
Okay.
And while he's distracting her, I want to go talk to Bulgrid.
Okay.
I'll go too, because I think you might need me, like last time.
I'm going to listen to the
Oh, and one thing that's notable
explanation.
about my cane, as long as I'm conscious and concentrating on it, when I'm not physically holding it, it just kind of stands up in the air, almost like a top, but without spinning.
All right. Daedalus, are you staying with Prometheus and Minnie, or are you...
I think in this case, I'd be, if if Daedalus is probing, or not Daedalus, if Prometheus is probing Minnie for how her powers work, I think that's something I would listen to see if I can glean any insight from it.
All right. So I'm going to cut away then to Eris's talk with Bulgrid, and the first thing he says is, "Thank you."
He's adorable. I'm gonna like hold up my hands and be like, "You don't have to shout anymore."
Sorry, I'm still getting used to. I'm still getting used to being so small. How do you deal with this all the time?
You know, we have a joke that we say to tall people around here where we holler up at them and say, "How's the weather up there?" Well, now you know how the weather is down here.
It smells a lot.
Simon, he's cute. I want to keep him. I'm gonna like try to get like what is he standing? Is he sitting? What's he doing?
He's standing up.
Well, I want him to like calm down and like whisper to us.
Okay. If you gesture, he'll get down on one knee and sort of listen in.
All right, yeah, like do I have to roll anything for this? Like I'm literally just going to try and like I'm going to start off at, asking, are you excited to go? Are you how have you been feeling? Good to see you again. How's your head? How's your memory? Do you remember anything else? You know what I mean? Like it's just a gentle lead in. Because I want to know what the fuck's going on. He ended up in my city, and now we're sending him somewhere else?
It makes me happy that there are so many people who seem to care about me here.
Did people not care about you at home?
No, I was very well liked at home, but we never received strangers so warmly. This is not what I expected when I travel when I end up in an unfamiliar land.
You say end up like you didn't plan the trip.
No, I didn't.
What happened?
I was on a voyage at sea. My people are very great seafarers. And we entered a cloud, a bank of, not cloud, what?
Fog.
Low cloud. We entered a fog, and suddenly my ship was gone from under me. My ship was gone from under me, and I fell into the water. I tried to stay afloat. I tried to stay head above water, but my arm, I couldn't stay up. I couldn't stay. My arms gave out. And I sank. And when I woke, I was able to swim up to the surface, and I saw the fog was gone, but I didn't know where I was. The stars are different.
Oh, honey. Well, now you get to travel and you get to see the stars on across the ocean. Stars are different at different latitudinal lines, right?
Yes.
I don't navigate. All right, yeah. The rest of the conversation is just
Latitudes,
getting
yes.
him hyped.
You know what? I think I'm going to try to do something. I think I'm going to try to do something sweet yet sneaky.
Oh boy.
No, hear me out here, because I still think that you like me, so I'm thinking about trying to do something nice. I think I want to use the comfort or support action on you by trying to convince Bulgrid that you really want to be his pen pal after he's gone, so that you can still keep having regular contact with him. I
Okay.
kind of want to do that on your character's behalf, like without you even coming up, because you're busy hyping him up. I kind of want to try to get that little earworm.
Emrys, I love you. Eris is gonna think you're really stupid because Bulgrid probably can't read or write.
And you know what? I don't know that.
Okay, do it. Fuck it. So, this is gonna be even more you are the most annoying person.
Roll it up, Null Zone.
Oh, that is so close. Oh, well.
Mark experience, baby.
So, let's see.
He's gonna say the same. He's gonna say the same fucking thing. What's a pen?
Well, you know what? That is half the fun, is just seeing how badly it falls on my face. So I think, yeah, he's not going to... I think he's... I think he might accept it, but say something about needing to learn to read, and then you're probably just going to go turn around to me and go, "We're supposed to be looking at positive things, not reminding him of what he can't do. What's wrong with you?" It's
Exactly.
losing your shit.
He's
So,
lost everything.
I'm gonna let you choose, Emrys. I'm gonna let you choose. Do you want to have successfully persuaded Bulgrid that he should become a pen pal
Oh man.
and have that alienate rather than endear you to Eris? Or do you want to fail in the attempt to persuade Bulgrid and sort of have it break down on that level?
You know, part of me wants to go for each, so I think, part of me wants to crave the drama because it's a tabletop game, but part of it also just makes sense that, yeah, he's probably not literate. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll a dice with no modifier, just kind of a luck, if you will, and on even, we go for the dramatic action, and on odd, he's just illiterate.
See what happens. What does God say?
I'm trying to find... Oh, there it is. I'm trying to find out how to do that, but everything I see has numbers.
You just do roll 1d6 or whatever. Or roll it. Type slash
the
roll. And then you can do 1d2 if you want.
Well, it was odds, and I believe I said evens was dramatic and odds is just he's not literate. So I'm just going to fail to convince him to become a pen pal in the first place.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to commit at this point one way or the other to his literacy or lack thereof. To say nothing of the fact that, if he's writing the things himself at full size, you'll be getting sort of
Right, exactly.
these
I'm gonna get a
enormous
blanket.
packages sort of once a month.
With a sentence on it.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
So while you're over sort of by the entry still, and this is to Daedalus and Prometheus. Swift comes up and says, Daedalus, for our records, can you just share with us the frequency you use to modulate his voice when he's at full size? We'll have our tech boys, our tech lads, work that out.
Well, it wasn't so much a modulation as a reduced playbacks or a sped up playback speed. We played back his voice at 300% normal.
All right then. He sort of
that was just kind of how we did it on the fly. I imagine with some fine tuning you get a little more exact, but
he sort of
we didn't have a lot of time to fine tune.
Points out one of the many people milling around and does the sort of I'll take the check thing.
Mm-hmm.
The sort of gopher pulls out a pad of paper and starts taking down notes. Meanwhile, I'll also say, if I can get the two of you, Prometheus and Daedalus, to roll and assess the situation.
Victor also has a question for Swift. So I understand. Ooh, I got a 12.
Wow.
I got an 8.
So I'm going to say that both of you are going to recognize that Minnie is extremely uncomfortable with this line of questioning. And I'll say that, Victor, since you have spent more time around people on sanity's edge, that she actually looks potentially on the verge of being triggered in some way.
Is this a side effect of the questions, or is it a side effect of the strain she's under?
She's a superhero. She doesn't like people asking specifics about the limitations of her powers. Right?
But she seems exceptionally uncomfortable with this. More so than
I might anticipate if I asked another hero about the nature of their...
She could have told us to go pound sand. Instead, she's answering us, but getting bent out of shape over at the same time.
I'm going to try to pierce the mask on Minnie.
Okay. I will say that since you got a 12 on the assess, I will let you ask an assess question.
Okay. 1 second. And I put the moves as just like a background image in the Roll20. Hopefully people can see that. What is the biggest threat? That's the question I'm going to ask. Or what? Like, I want to try to get a sense of what kind of fire I'm stoking here.
The biggest threat... The biggest threat is Minnie.
Okay. I'm going to try to pierce the mask because I'm a dumb kid who's really reckless. So, let's roll it.
Well, before you roll it, narrate it for me.
So I'm gonna
How are
say.
you gonna the mask with her?
So I'm sitting there kind of taking notes, and when I see that she starts to get uncomfortable, I kind of put my pen down in my book, kind of stuff it in the top and just kind of put it back into my backpack, and it disappears. And I'm saying, I have to imagine that a lot of this information is probably, public knowledge and a lot of open speculation from your admirers and your fans back home across the pond. If Swift didn't tell you, we're students at the academy, is there something about us in particular that's making you uncomfortable? I certainly wouldn't want to, upset you. I'm just very curious about this world that I'm trying to become a part of when I graduate, and the kinds of people who are going to be my allies, and what kind of assistance might be available to me. I'm gonna basically play like I don't understand. I have Victor as a person has a pretty good idea why, in his mind, why she's so upset, but he's gonna play dumb. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're like,
what's the deal? Like, I'm just a student asking questions.
you're going naive.
Yep.
So, all right.
Let's see if I finally get a bad roll in this game. Yeah, baby!
Fuck.
Okay.
That's
she,
a 5.
Oh god.
Mark potential.
I'm gonna mark it. Don't you worry.
So she starts by just responding to this line of questioning by blinking very rapidly. And then he sort of makes a gesture, closes her eyes tightly, and looks down and just holds the pose. And is now sort of balling her hands into fists.
Swift
is coming over and saying, I think maybe it might be time for you and your friends to leave, maybe?
Sure. Where did you say that you're resettling our friend?
The Isle of Orkney.
Okay. And, just out of curiosity, this is as he's leading us out. I'm not attempting to resist him in any way. Has any attempt been made to try to locate his home or plane of origin using magical means?
Alright, so am I detecting that she's like getting ready to lose her shit?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, my assess really wasn't great.
I'm just getting a really bad vibe off of this. Like, they're gonna just drive him out into the sea and dump him.
He tells you, we have our best lads at home.
You keep saying that.
Lads at home working on this.
You keep saying best lads.
Well,
see, when our government says best lads, that usually means nobody.
We have our quantum physicists working on it. We have our chaos mages working on it. We have been doing this quite some time, young man. We have experience.
Of course, surely. We'll leave you to it. And I gesture for the team to follow me, whether they do or not. is up to them. But I'll gesture for my team to follow me.
All right.
I'm gonna catch up to you and ask, like, should we be trying to get him out of this?
I do not think that that is a wise choice. Um,
Because now I'm thinking back, like, Emrys made a joke in the chat. If we just get him to step out of the container and have Null Zone be like, guess what?
is Swift gonna follow us after we leave the container?
He is not. He sort of gestures to more of the sort of British support staff who are walking you at a fair clip towards the exit.
Okay.
Can you get there?
Well, in fiction, what I'm going to do is after we are no longer actively being watched, I'm going to teleport to the container, but one of the sides that doesn't have a door on it, and put a glyph on it so I can track its movements.
Okay.
That's the best we're going to do. We can't go against the... I especially cannot go against established heroes. That's not going to work out great for anyone.
That's what I was asking, Victor. Like, can you get to this Isle of Orthy, check that he's there, and if he's not, that's when we start making noise, like, what the fuck, guys?
Alright. Well...
Can I have done that in fiction?
Yeah, that... You know, that seems to me to be a typical use of your powers. So
Well,
But I already
obviously
know
he's
that
not
he
there
won't
yet.
write to me.
Huh?
you're not pushing limits. So, as best you can tell, you have successfully drawn a glyph of location. I will say, as you are all walking away, you see a little hatch at the top flip open, and Boogle is able to sort of stretch his legs up to sort of 15 feet. So he's standing his full 15 feet, and he sort of waves to you all.
Don't kill my giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed a bit off.
Something's going on.
I mean, we can't read too much. Well, we can't read as much as we wanted to it, but we shouldn't necessarily. I mean, people are idiots. It could always be that they're just wildly overstressing Minnie's power capabilities, right? But yeah, I'm not super comfortable with it. I'm especially not comfortable with our lads are working on finding a way to get him home, because in my estimation, the first thing that you would do is you would try to divine magically where he's actually from and send him there, where things are probably sized appropriately to him, rather than immediately putting him out to pasture on some remote Scottish island. Right?
Right. They're not doing it out of the goodness of their hearts to get him home. They're doing it to who even knows what for, resources or...
Are Minnie and Swift part of a specific team? Do they work for, like, the Royal, like, Metahuman Service or something like that?
Yeah, they are part of the Round Table.
Of course. But of course.
Simon.
But, Yeah, so they're established people, and they're people that the teachers of the school could potentially have worked with in the past and have opinions on their personalities, their trustworthiness, etc., etc.
Yeah, I mean that would certainly be a possibility. I mean, they are both of them fairly, pretty well established. Swift more so than Minnie, but they are. Swift is probably one of the most famous British heroes.
Okay, so one thing I want to do, but I'm gonna enlist Daedalus's analytical mind for, is I want to see if he can find any records, either in like public newspapers or in our probably more private or archives associated with the school, if there's ever been a high-profile failure of Minnie's powers.
Okay, that's something. Probably this would be skipping a couple scenes ahead.
No, yeah, I'm just getting that out of my mind as like something I want to vocalize, as something that I want to do whenever that would logically come up.
Well, I mean, while we're leaving the place, you could say, "Hey, I need you to do this for me," and then I can just make a note. And next time we have downtime, I could, write up a little program to search the archives and the internet for us.
I'm gonna report back everything he said to me too, obviously. Like not while we're still like around the people, but I'm gonna tell Victor.
We're on our way to the slums.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell everybody like he said he went into a fog, so like this is either like an Eagle of the Ninth situation where he found a found a portal in the fog, or it happened under the water, because he said he fell asleep. So, there's all kinds of shit that could have happened. Death and reincarnation, fell through a wormhole, who knows?
Eris, there's so much weird shit in this world. He could be from, fucking actual Avalon for all we know. There's the opportunity, or the options for where he could actually be from is so ridiculous that the idea that they're not trying to sort that out is wild to me.
Remember that time when I'm a normal fucking 16-year-old from, Middle America, Nowheresville, USA.
So,
I'm just finding all this out. I'm telling you what I know, so your magic mind can figure it out.
My mind's not magic. Trust me.
You're all exhausting. Every single one of you is exhausting.
So, Amherst, I'm sorry. You adjusted your powers from being, power negation to, specifically emotion control, right?
Incorrect. I'm supposed to choose 2 powers, so
okay.
I have both power negation and emotional.
But you switched to emotion control from illusion, right?
That's what it was.
Yes, the original idea was illusion, but then I changed that to emotion control.
I mean, so does that come with, you think, a sense of being able to kind of, absorb the vibes off of people and get a sense of people? A little bit more of a, light empath thing, or do you think that's too much of a stretch?
I really don't think it's a stretch at all. I think it would be almost necessary to kind of figure out what's there for me to I figure I can't create emotions. I can only amplify or dull existing ones. So I'd need it to see if the emotion I want to act on is even there.
So, Clyde, what were you feeling when we were in there?
I mean, I was feeling a whole lot of mostly agitation and impatience, to be honest. Nothing really sinister, I don't think.
Alright, I mean, I just get a bad vibe. I know that we're kids and they don't have to tell us anything, but that just felt like a bad vibe, and I didn't like how uncomfortable and overwhelmed Minnie seemed, considering she's the linchpin of their entire the safety aspect of their plan, right? Usually with something like that, you would imagine that they'd have some sort of redundancy or some sort of backup plan, because they said
Sounds like they only need her to, in terms of get him out to sea, because they have the huge barge for him. And then, once they're getting close to land again, to
what is he going to happen if there's a storm? He's just going to sit on the deck during the middle of a squall on the top of a container ship?
I'm sure they've accounted for that. I can't imagine they're going to make her keep him small the entire trip either.
Simon was.
That's worrying.
If Simon.
Yes.
I don't know if it would be a role. Not for me, even. Like, I'm just thinking of Cly's. Would there be, like, if he can feel emotions, if he can detect them, would there, like, is there, I know there's not an emotion for lying, but is there, like, as God, would there be anything, any underlying thing that we wouldn't have noticed? You know what I mean? Like, something that didn't fit.
In terms of, like malice?
Just the emotions around. Like, I'm going to ask Cly, how did Bulgrid feel about the whole thing? Like, did he feel altered in any way? As if someone like you had worked on it. Like, are they keeping him subdued? Like,
soothed.
Yeah. Like, are they doing anything to him besides just keeping him small? Because he was a little enthusiastic.
Bulgrid, I don't know if sort of the empathic power we're sort of reading in would include sort of the ability to tell if they're authentic or induced emotional states.
Well,
that feels to me like maybe a push.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe I could figure out if it's something I've done and they're still feeling that, but not if someone else has modified or implanted the emotion. Just kind of if it's there and what effect I had on it, but not like a full emotional map type deal.
Okay, fine. Just trying to find a way to poke at the mystery.
But I will say that what you were feeling was Bulgrid, you felt mostly hope. That he was hopeful.
Just in time to be shattered.
Like, you're going to hurt my giant, and I'm never going to forgive you.
What is Paragon's opinion of Swift? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
For most of the staff, for Swift, you're definitely getting agitation and impatience. Like, I don't want to be dealing with this.
Well, he's an asshole anyway.
For most of the staff, you're getting anxiety.
Don't like that.
What does Paragon think of Swift?
You know that they've had team-ups in the past, and that Paragon has always spoken warmly and highly of him in all his public appearances.
Okay. I'm trying to decide whether or not my character's more Cyclops instincts or my character's more independent instincts would win out in this situation.
Man, are you like narking two sessions in a row?
Me narking? No, I mean, I'm just really, really concerned that, like, I guess because I don't know how much is how it's being framed and how we framed it with our minds and how much of it is actually shady. But like, why is like an entirely foreign crew working on dealing with this guy? Why aren't any of the heroes that were involved with originally apprehending him involved in this trade-off, right? Why is he just being handed off? Why didn't we just like put him on a barge and send him to upstate New York? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, like what? Why are we bringing in?
why are we bringing in outsiders just to send him somewhere where his fantasy world accent is somewhat similar to the accents of the people around?
Well, those are certainly questions that you can explore.
What was the name of the two teachers that were on the ferry with us?
Those were Checkpoint and Hard Case.
Okay, I'm gonna be like, guys, I'll be right back, and I'm gonna blink myself back to the school and into his office. Is he there?
Which one?
I really got to make a machine to do that.
Hard Case.
I think off screen, I'm going to activate my null powers to keep you in his office for just an uncomfortably long period of time before you can blink.
You can't. I don't think you can negate my powers remotely.
Well, no, just more like you couldn't really warp into an area that's not.
That's fine. Is he there?
He's not there.
Okay, then I'll just blink back. But yeah, I'm made very uncomfortable by this idea. But I also really don't want to get in trouble with established heroes, and I don't want to be seen as opposing them or interfering with their business, official business. What do you guys think?
You know,
what do you two think?
It already has an eye on all of you.
I don't know if anything something was off, at least with Minnie. Maybe not the whole operation, but something was definitely off with Minnie. What? I don't know, but something was off.
I mean, I agree with Victor. There's something off about shipping him out to a foreign country. Like, he showed up in our harbor. He showed up on our soil. Why aren't we dealing with, like, it seems like almost...
Maybe we don't have the resources to feed him. Can't imagine he eats a small amount of food.
Did Ellis, all respect meant, you, as the smartest member of our team, that's the dumbest thing you've ever said. Like, I'm guessing we're in America analog, right? Where, like, we have way more space than this little island nation. Like, why, like...
Yeah,
it
I mean...
seems almost like an admission of weakness. Or he's a bargaining chip, so what are they trying to get with him?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what our next step is here.
Well, we just have to wait for... going back to my request, like, we wait the couple of days we think it takes the boat to get over there, and you go check that he's really there.
Couple of days?
Yeah.
He's on a boat.
Try, like, 3 to 4 weeks, minimum.
Yeah.
A couple days, few weeks. Time isn't real. Anyway.
Not apparently when you're Minnie trying to concentrate the whole time.
Right. Well, like everybody said, they aircraft carrier.
I imagine, they're probably going to put him on a cargo container ship, right?
9 days.
9 days. We are both
That's
wrong.
what he was saying.
I was closer. Price is Right rules. Anyway. In the meantime, we do have homework. Like...
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to operate on as big of a scale as your mother.
Does your character actually mention that?
Yeah.
Ouch.
I think you're probably one of the few people... I think you're probably the only person besides Daedalus probably doesn't know about my mother, and most of the people at the school don't. So when you mention her, I say, yeah, I know. Don't fucking talk about my mother.
And I don't actually necessarily know that she's your mother. I just got beat to a crap by her, so I'm probably just kind of going on the oh burn type deal.
But we need to figure out what's going on, you know. We were responsible for, in a weird, indirect way, keeping that being from befalling harm. You know, I don't want to have done all that work just for somebody above our pay grade to decide that he's too much of a risk and to just dispose of him.
Exactly.
Or turn him into a weapon.
Or turn him into a weapon, which would be arguably worse. His agency being taken away would be far worse, in my mind. But, one thing, Simon, that I was thinking about, just because of the specific way that this campaign is structured, you know how a lot of the playbooks have auxiliary ways of gaining advancements?
Mm-hmm.
I have this thing where I'm trying to impress or redeem my reputation in the eyes of the city's greatest hero and my parents' greatest victim.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know I'm trying to think of when I would have the opportunity to come into contact with either one of those people.
Okay.
That's something we can discuss off screen, but it was something that I was thinking about.
Yeah,
if we have to adjust who they are, that's something that we could talk about. Because I'm just concerned with Paragon being the largest hero in the city and Cornucopia being somebody who no longer has powers. I might not interact with them meaningfully in the normal context of this campaign.
Fair enough. Okay. So, I've made a note of that. And people want to stay here or move to the next scene?
I think we should move to the next scene, because at this point there's not much we can do other than overanalyze it.
Agreed.
Yep.
Okay. So,
So is Eris? Did Eris actually put makeup on to go see Bulgrud, or no?
Huh?
Well,
I was in my costume. I have makeup on because I feel like shit, but I don't know that Eris would.
I'm just trying to tie the correlation, see if it's something that one of our characters should notice at some point or not. But all right, never mind then.
She's a teenage girl. She probably wakes up like 2 hours before she has to, so she can like straighten her hair and put her face on. Come on.
Probably one of the few what sort of rituals of normalcy left to her at this point.
Right, exactly. Like on top of being pissed off at almost all of you, Daedalus hasn't said anything stupid yet, so maybe consider that before you start poking at stuff. But like,
I'm not trying to poke the bear.
another reason she's like prickly enough to have brought up Victor's mother is because like she's dreading going back into like normal people, like out on the streets like normal people and seeing all the stuff she doesn't have anymore. You know what I mean? So she was always going to be cranky today.
Gotcha.
But yes, Simon, should we roll assessing situations a lot?
Well, I'm first going to ask, how do you get there? You know, there's sort of the other side of town.
Well, how did we get to
are
Bulgrud?
Buses and subways, or you can, use like ride sharing or walk or get a taxi. What do you want to do?
I think I would like to text him I'd say, like, are there any specific spots or just neighborhoods we should wander through on our way to see you, and then probably actually do a foot tour?
That's
says,
fucking from a diplomat's kid.
Start at the ball courts.
So are we really gonna take a bus, like, in our hero costumes? Like,
I mean, is that or an Uber? I guess we could get some exercise and run.
I know we could let Eris work off some stress and just take turns hurling us.
don't tempt me. Please don't fucking tempt me today. I mean, are we aware, Cly, are we aware of your status?
Status
As a human. Like, your parents are straight up and down diplomats, right? Like, you probably have access.
No, they're not diplomats. They're here. They were heroes. I'm not sure if they're still active or not, but if they are, it's not in this area. They're probably specifically like sent me a couple towns or even a couple state lines over, just to kind of help.
I was misled.
So you can establish your own identity without having to.
Without having to try to make it in their shadow.
Can Victor portal us there?
I mean, I don't want to overuse. I don't want to overuse that.
And my flying machine isn't done yet.
Oh, let's just take the subway.
Yeah, we can just take the subway.
The subway will give us an idea too, better than the buses or what.
Great, just a bunch of normal people doing normal people shit.
I mean, if you want, if you want, it would not be unreasonable for me to make us look like normal kids while we're on the bus.
Yeah, that's great too. Sure. Eris is not happy about any of this.
Once we're there, if we're gonna start like really canvassing, and like trying to like make contact with a lot of members of the community, I'm gonna downplay how garish my outfit is and just look like I'm in a nice deep red suit, something that's a little bit more mundane, still with my domino mask on.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say hi to people and start asking people what they need in their community and how we could serve them as young heroes. And we mean that not just as how we can use our powers, though that's fine too, but what they need from us.
All right. You're kind of jumping the gun.
Wow.
In that you arrive at this place. I haven't.
Oh yeah, set the scene for us.
Yet sort of described. So, if you start at the ball courts, you can see that, there's a lot of young people your age around the ball courts. Most, but not all of them, appear to be, playing basketball. Basically, on 3 sides of the ball courts are various public housing projects. There are like 2 tower blocks, and then there's one set of row homes. And you've got, mixed in there a couple of bodegas, a few empty storefronts, a few empty houses, and people on the streets. So that's sort of the scene that you arrive to. So, do you start by, knocking on doors? Do you start by talking to people who are watching the ball games? Narrate for me.
Well, this is really tough for my character, because my character did not have a normal upbringing, and yeah. All right, let's do it.
Well, if we'd like, I could lead off because I am vaguely familiar with this area.
Yeah, that would probably be for the best, Cly.
So
I'm not very good at not making myself look like a little bit aloof.
An ass?
Aloof. Yeah, that was the word I would use. Aloof is the word I would use.
So what I would probably do is head over to the ball games and see if I can pick up into one of them and just be asking, the other players if there's any major crap going down that keeps them from getting to the court as often as they'd like, and just try to, blend in a bit.
Okay. So you try to get, in one of the pickup games. It takes a while. It takes, 20 minutes. But they tag you into one of them. And we're there. Why not? Are you going to try to show off, or are you going to be...
No, I'm not athletic. I don't have any powers related to this. That's kind of why I picked it, as I'm effectively just a normal human physically, so I'd just be trying to, use it more as a point to get talking, to kind of bond with the group, as opposed to, trying to show off.
To roll a mundane for me. Okay.
Oh, no, not quite. That was a 5 for our audience who can't see that very.
Yeah, there are definitely some awkward glances. And after playing for a few minutes, you hear a loud banging sound. You hear a bang.
Okay. I look around.
Well, I'm obviously going to turn and see what it is.
What are people doing?
Most people are clearing out.
I was in the middle of, with a lot of the younger kids, doing, because I can cheat, doing, is this your card style magic tricks, and then, putting the cards in, their back pockets or in their backpacks, and then being blown away because they think I'm David Blaine, but I'm actually just teleporting the card into their backpack.
Okay. So you're with them. You also hear this bang, and I guess...
Yeah, I'm not fazed by it. I've heard a gunshot before.
One of the kids you're with actually calls out, "Oi, pistolero!"
Okay.
And
Alright, time to start, wherever everyone is moving away from, I'm moving towards.
Yeah, whatever group of kids I have around me, however many, younger kids, I just tap my cane on the ground, and I just put, whatever, until I have a better sense of the situation, I have a very high defend. I have the and I have 2 of my moves are based around it. I'm just gonna put a dome of magical energy around the little kids that are like the, like 7 to 12 kids that are like right around me, and just put a shield around them and myself.
Okay. So, if you turn to hear the source of this sound, and look where the kid was looking, you see a kid, probably 17, in street clothes, and he's not carrying a gun, but he's got both of his hands posed like this.
Unfortunately, I can't see that.
Oh, he's
making finger guns.
He's got finger guns. Does he have any kind of costume on?
He actually is wearing a domino mask, but otherwise just kind of street clothes.
Cool. Can I directly engage him?
Okay.
Well, how close am I? Like, can I get close enough to him to just, like, punch him in the face and knock him out?
I mean,
you tell us,
probably
Bridget.
Like 15 to 20 feet away.
Tell us a story. Paint us a picture with your mind brush of how you leap across and cold cock this guy.
I mean, that's essentially what she's gonna do, like hair flowing out behind her or whatever. One of the moves that I took is called Punch Everyone. So when I charge into a fight without hedging my bets, which I'm not doing, somebody said gun, and this kid's wearing a mask. He might be like us. I don't know. I can shift my danger up.
Oh. Okay.
And I can also use danger to directly engage thanks to the other move that I took. So, like, I just want to hit him.
Directly engage them.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Do it. Do it.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
All right. Then you pick one.
I gotta get to the menu.
It's the background of the roll 20.
And for anyone watching at home, Eris rolled a 9.
Oh shit! Yeah, I
solid
forgot
hit.
So I get to pick one between. You said he's not holding guns?
He's not holding guns. He's just making finger guns.
All right, I want to take his domino mask because I'm not in the best mood. Can I do that?
Okay. You take the mask.
Okay, so like I don't even hit him. I don't even closed fist hit him. Like I smack him in the face and like pull it off as he's falling back.
You give him a taste of these hands.
Right, exactly. Like I literally high five his face.
Yeah, high five his face, yeah.
Okay. He looks mad. He throws his hands out.
Do we recognize him?
No, and he's some dude. Yeah, he says, Chica, why?
Because there are kids here.
Why are you all hassling them? Who do you think came to get us?
Hassling them. We were
Bug,
doing
Bade, Sonadora.
Jesus.
A little backup, guys.
Some little alcoves come. Well, one dude comes out of the storm drain, and he just looks like a big roach.
Yay.
Fade, at least you assume that this is Fade, rises through the street and sort of hovers there.
Fantastic. This is great.
And Sonadora is standing at the end of the street wearing she's wearing sort of Dia de los Muertos makeup.
A sugar mask? Like a sugar skull? Yeah.
I put a roll in.
What do you Pistolero says again, what are you all doing here?
Can I wanna well, I'll let, what are the other three doing? I don't want.
Yeah, I put a roll in for my I'll show them. I'd like to make it known, meta-wise, that my human person knows better than what my character is doing about what this group of individuals probably is to this neighborhood, but my sheltered aristocratic character does not know any better, so I'm going to make the shield bigger, more detailed, and actually visible, and actually really start to push out, covering the kids. I rolled a 9, which is a missed success, so I'm going to safely protect basically all the kids on the actual basketball court from harm.
Okay.
But I'd like to escalate the situation, because I'm doing like a huge display of magical power and drawing a ton of attention to myself.
So what do you see that as doing?
So I think one of the big things that is going to do is that when you really unleash like a lot of magical energy, it's not exactly the most wholesome looking thing. Like, people have a hard time understanding it, and like when people look at it, it kind of like makes their heads hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like when people really look at like powerful arcane magic, or in the case of the people I'm protecting, they're basically looking out into the world through the lens of like altered reality magic. They're probably,
it's uncanny. It's unsettling. It's Lovecraftian madness inducing to look upon it.
Right. So, the thing that I'm gonna do is I can choose to clear a condition, take influence over somebody you protect, or add a team to the pool. And I think what would make the most sense narratively is I'm gonna take influence over these people that I'm protecting in the community, but
you can take influence over one of them.
One of them. Yeah, so I'm going to basically say that one of the kids that I was showing the magic trick to is going to be somebody who is, well, I don't know, we'll give him a name. Give me a second.
So,
Jason.
What I was going to say is that when you visibly buff up the shield, almost all of the children begin screaming. And a few of them are actually banging on the walls around them.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
You do have influence over one of them.
Okay. But yeah, so in that case, if that's where you're going from for defend somebody, I'm gonna say that I dramatically escalate the situation. I mean, and this is also gonna draw out a little bit these people that are hassling us, what their relationship to the community is based on how they react to this. You know what I mean?
Well,
Because if they're just street toughs, they're not going to give a shit.
all right.
But yeah, that's
Nope.
me.
Basically, so that's you. I'll let. Does anyone else want to go before we get a sort of response to this?
No, I think I need a response to do what I want to do.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I think I'll wait as well.
Pistolero is saying he's putting one back in, making it another finger gun, and he puts his hand on sort of the hammer
Okay.
and says, "You need to let them go.
He's speaking to me.
Fade." He says, "You need to let them go. Haven't you people taken enough from us?" And he turns and sort of says, "Fade," and nods at the force bubble. And Fade starts to float towards the force bubble. Meanwhile, Bug is just sort of backing up Pistolero's flank.
I'm going to ask a stupid question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, they could be some sort of unlicensed group, but we don't know of any street-level people operating in this community matching these descriptions, right?
No.
Okay. And I'm going to just yell out, because this is what my character thinks. He's going to say, "Let them go. I'm keeping them safe from you."
All right.
Yeah, literally, my next move was going to be, the provoke someone that's persuasion to be like, "We are here to help. We are on their side. Who are you?"
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use my tactical genius.
Oh boy.
So, when you point out an obvious flaw in a foe's plan, I get to roll Savior on a hit. I do.
You right over there?
Come on, it wasn't that bad of an idea.
Excuse me, I'm only dying. Don't worry.
Please do narrate this for me, because I do want to know what you believe the plan to be and what the obvious flaw is.
Well, what I believe the plan to be is that they want us to leave, and they're going to do it by force if necessary. What I believe the obvious flaw is that, guys, we're students. We're here on assignment from Apex Academy. You rough us up too bad, you're going to have to deal with the administration and everybody that's behind them.
So you threaten?
Roll it.
Not a de-escalation, Aaron.
Yeah, mark that experience. He got a 6, which is a failure.
Oh, fantastic. Wasn't so much a de-escalation as a...
Well, you
attempt to show
just
them
basically threatened to call the cops times a million on these people.
Yes, that's basically what I tried to do.
Yeah. How's that work out? How's that work out for us, Simon?
Clearly not well.
Pistolero is not happy about that. He's saying, what you always do. Every time. Every time this happens.
I need somebody else to be the empathetic person here and engage
I'm
this guy because
planning on
it's
it.
really out of character for. It would be really out of character for my
Yep.
character.
Absolutely,
You know-
I am absolutely planning on it, but I'm going to give Emrys a turn first.
He's going to
Yeah.
now say, Sonadora turns back to the girl in the makeup and just says, it's time.
Fun.
Dan, you notice, or Prometheus, Victor, you notice, a sudden swell in magical energy around Sonadora.
Emrys, do you have a plan?
Yes, I do,
Also-
and I think it's
Hang
going
on.
to piss Dan off.
Hang on, let Simon finish.
I'll also say that Fade is going to try to is within one sort of more action. Fade is going to have reached the bubble and seems to be intent on trying to phase through it.
Okay, but yeah, I want to give everybody a turn before I do any additional actions.
Climbing.
Well, I want to do something that only I can do. I'm just not sure what the best die roll should be. Because pretty much I am like I'm just like an encapsulated de-escalation bomb. I could just go, just turn everybody's everything off and be like, we need to talk without doing anything rash, and then just be like freaking out trying to keep it all under control. So I'm not sure if that would be directly engaging the threat because I'm trying to nullify everything on both sides, just even it out, or unleash my powers because it's just kind of, I don't know, reshaping the environment or what.
You know, I'll tell you that you can calm this down to the extent that this is caused by rage.
I feel like that's I feel like on this level, especially against other metahumans, it would be a unleash your powers type situation.
You know, as I said, that will calm us down to the extent that this is caused by rage or anger.
Right, people's
Whereas,
heads
you
will
know,
cool a little bit. But they're still gonna have
people
their opinions.
On a mission and feel like they will still have motives, goals, and objectives, and will pursue those in the best ways they see fit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to set the precedent that, like the same thing I did with the teleport, it's important to not set the precedent that Emrys's emotion control is a charm spell.
Well, that's why I specifically
didn't
wasn't
think he was
thinking
gonna do
emotion
it.
control. I was going to just do nullify. Finger guns won't be able to shoot. Your shield will drop. Phase won't be able to phase through anything, both because he can't and because now there's no longer anything to phase through. And
Oh.
Miss Domino Mask's magic would also start fizzling.
I mean, you can do whatever your character would do, but my character would not be comfortable with that because I'm not bulletproof without my powers.
But you know, you're not strategizing all of this
Yeah.
Yeah.
in fiction. You know,
Exactly. Yeah, I'm
What
not being.
is-
Do
what
it.
is
Do what
the
your
area
do what your
of
character would do, Emrys. Hang on, Bridget. What would your character do, Emrys?
Probably try the null bomb because he's probably a lot more used to that than the emotions. And then, so that would be a 9 on Freak to seriously just turn like everything in the whole area off. Because this all started with powers, it's being heightened by powers. We're just going to turn that off and talk for a minute. So, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I mean, I already pretty much said what I want to do is the null bomb. So that would be unleash the powers. I rolled a 9. So it says, on a hit, I do it. On 7 to 9, mark a condition, or the GM will tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary. So, I'm debating if I want to mark a condition or have it be temporary. I think I am going to mark the condition of angry. Just because you guys need to just not make it worse sometimes.
Okay.
Oh man.
So, what does this look like when you do this?
So, I'm going to say it's just going to look kind of like an expanding, almost like a shockwave bubble, where it just looks like there's, you know, it looks like things are like kind of shimmering, or like there's like an inch or two distortion, and just like everything is turning off. So like up until its extent, there's just going to be kind of like a hole or like a slice, almost like gouged out of your shield up until the thing, and like that Fade person is just going to like drop, because I from the mind brush I kind of assumed that they were almost hovering, trying to like get up to the shield, and whatever what's her face is doing with like the gathering magical energy, it's just gonna like fizzle visibly because she was trying to do something. It's just gonna, whatever effect is just going to outright stop.
All right. So I'll tell you the sort of further things that happen as a result of this. First, Pistolero just looks kind of embarrassed. Like, he keeps trying to
Cock his gun.
Yeah. Not only do the sort of swirling energies around Sonodora fade away, her makeup entirely disappears. She's just a normal-looking Latina teenager.
Oh shit.
That would also mean that I'm back in my normal school uniform.
Yeah, me too.
Without my mask on, because my mask is actually a projection.
Bug is unchanged.
And when the shield goes down, I basically remake the gestures that I did to do it and kind of like try to exert my will, and nothing happens. And then I just kind of look at my shoulder over at Null Zone, and I'm just going to be like burning a hole in his head with my eyes, because I'm like, I need my powers to be able to protect us, Null Zone.
Fade, honestly, looks completely shocked. Not even necessarily upset.
Yeah, if these are always power on people, this would be could be a nice break for them.
He's actually sort of patting himself, and the kids who are in the bubble are running towards this crew,
away from us,
away from you.
Towards
One
me,
of them,
though.
you notice, actually is running over to Fade, specifically, and like giving him a big hug.
And pretty much while I do this, I'm just going to kind of do the, shouting like, y'all just need to stop and talk about this and not be making it worse. And of course, I'm shouting that in like an extremely angry way.
Yeah. I'm gonna walk over to Null Zone and punch him in the face.
Oh man.
And that's actually just in time.
And I'm gonna say, you don't get to decide when I get to use my powers. Ever.
A great big crash. And you see Brickbat standing up from what looked to be a superhero landing.
It's very rough on the knees. I saw that eye roll, Simon.
Mm-hmm. To say, Clyde, your folks would be disappointed to see this. Y'all, both of you, all of you, need to step back. And you notice a change in the bearing in Pistolero's bearing. He's like, they with you, Brickbat?
And I'm going to be shouting with, pretty much just like full out shouting at him. It's like, I'm trying, Uncle Brickbat, but nobody wants to listen to me.
I mean, I was getting there.
You're not going to respond to me punching you in the face?
Not while I'm concentrating and holding this thing up. Which I'm probably going to drop like after he responds to me and respond by decking you.
Oh man.
Oy boy.
I'm the punch person.
Okay.
All right. Does it help our case any, Simon, if after Pistolero says they're with you, Brickbat, like if I like spin around and be like, yes, we're with him. Which help, we need to talk about it.
See, I want to take a quick look and see. What you want that to do? Do you want that to provoke him? Do you want that to persuade?
Persuade in his best interests.
That's an adult move.
Is it? Dan, you lied to us.
About what?
Persuading with best interests.
No,
Yeah, no.
The moves list. It was I'm being completely facetious.
I marked on my sheet because of that situation and the exchange of punches that I would probably take the angry condition off of my exchange with Cly. I don't know if there's a corresponding one that Emrys would take, but we just punched each other in the face.
Yeah, I figure I took angry because of the freak thing. I could either make it temporary, so only last a moment, or kind of have fictional control over when it dropped. So I chose to mark angry, like just getting ticked at you all for escalating it, making me actually have to do this. So I figure as the side effect of my freak thing, so I figured that's why I just turned around and punched you right.
Okay.
No.
I don't want to provoke him either. Gosh, this game is hard.
Basically,
Can I just roll a straight up and down mundanes? I'm like my costume just got taken away. Like what if I pierce my own mask just to be like we're kids, we've been sent here?
I mean, piercing the mask in this is like, you can do that by showing vulnerability. And so by being exposed, you can use the fact that you are exposed to try to get them to open up to you.
Right, like that's my play here.
So yeah, and that works as a piercing of the mask.
Okay. Well, I have his mask in my hand, so
That's a pretty good.
can that? So
I'll give you a +1 for that.
good because my mundane's a negative. No. How I do it? Why it's not working? Oh, there it goes. Hey! That's not bad. I got an 8. Am I comforting or supporting him, or am I piercing his mask?
Well, you said you were piercing his mask.
Yes.
So
I can ask one. So many choices in this game, guys.
So what do you what?
I just want to de-escalate this situation. How can
So you get to ask one of the questions.
Right, I get to ask one of the questions, and there's a fill in the blank one that says, "How could I get your character to?"
Yep.
How could I get your character to, like, meet us on equal footing and engage with us peaceably? Like, how would I get your character to actually hear what we're saying instead of just immediately jumping to, oh, they're here to like take shit from us again?
okay, do you want to? I think that you're on the right track. When you formulate that question, I will answer it.
You are making me think with my sick and broken brain.
I
Something
won't
along
be
the
that
lines of,
picky about it.
how can we convince you that we're here to help you? Something along those lines.
Or that our original intention here wasn't to run afoul of you.
Because she's 16 and she doesn't talk like that yet, she's gonna, she's gonna, like, what do I gotta say to get you to believe me that we weren't here to take anything? We're here to help.
I mean, I think it's as simple as saying, you know, we're not here to do shit to you. We don't even know you. Right?
Well, no, that was in character, like her saying that to him, like, what do I gotta say to you? I gotta ask him a question, right?
Right.
So your question is sort of like, what do we have to do to convince you that we're actually here to help?
What would it take to get you to help us help you? I don't, guys.
I think you're overthinking it, right? You're talking about being like a 16-year-old person. You'd be like, what is it gonna? The way you would probably say it is, what is it gonna take for you to shut up and listen to us?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So just say that.
In a non-offensive way.
No, it doesn't even have to not be in a not offensive way. We're kids. Teenagers respond to other people asserting themselves to a degree.
All right. He just says, "You show respect, you get respect." And then he says, "Wolf pack." Sort of gestures. And they're leaving.
I want to know what was disrespectful basketball card tricks, but okay.
We're on their turf. Interesting choice of name, Wolfpack.
I mostly went for the alliteration.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Yeah.
And once they bugger off, I'm just kind of going to let the thing drop and everything's just going to get a shimmer and go back.
Okay. So did you see what I sent in the chat?
Yeah, I replied in kind.
Yeah. Right. Never mind. I don't think you understood what I was going for. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, I mean, my character is incredibly angry with what happened there. That you took it upon yourself to negate the powers of our group especially, but of other people's, without, like, letting us know that you were going to do that. So, like, we'll have that altercation right now if you like. I'm going to say, Nullzone, what are you thinking? You exposed all of our identities to unknown people and took away our powers in a potentially dangerous situation. On what? Faith that they weren't going to just kill us with normal weapons once our powers were gone? What if they had guns? Did I just lose everybody's audio?
Mr. Finger. I was just saying, they obviously wouldn't have. Our Mr. Finger guns would have been brandished them instead of regular ones. What the hell are you doing when he's saying, let the kids go, just saying, I'm keeping them safe from you. They're obviously concerned about them. Why even make it work?
You don't understand. You can't take people like this at their word. There are people who pretend to protect neighborhoods, to protect groups of people that they lead, but that protection is actually control and exploitation, right? Just because somebody claims to protect a neighborhood or protect a group doesn't mean that that's what they're actually doing.
Hey, Kid Wizard.
Who's talking? Which character's talking to me? Is it...
That's supposed to be Brickbat.
Yes, sir.
In that situation, who do you think came off as the self-declared protector who was really looking for control?
Me.
So you're not a complete waste of space.
No. I would say no.
All right.
But
maybe you got hope for you.
Part of all that preaching on the way down here about how, we actually got to go talk to them and see what they want and how they're going to do and how we're not going to be everybody who just goes on over them and, imposes what we want and does it for their own good. And
the people in the community, not the person who introduced himself by shooting at us. Right? There's degrees, right?
Yeah, just the one who kidnaps a whole bunch of kids behind a wall.
Kidnaps a bunch of kids. So
that
is not what happened. So a gunshot goes off, and I throw up a protective shield around people. I'll remember that that's kidnapping the next time somebody shoots at you. I certainly wouldn't want to kidnap you, Nullzone.
All right, guys, let's take a deep breath here. I think Brickbat's got a point. We might have came at this in a slightly wrong approach. Not saying we were wrong. I'm just saying we weren't right.
Right.
So let's take a deep breath, you guys.
All right. Here's the thing, kids. you don't get people to open up by showing up and the first thing you ask is, what are the shady things going on? What are the things that are causing problems? Because then people feel like you're a science project. They feel like being science projects. Like there's
Like
something you're
making-
working on.
Like you're making an assumption about their neighborhood.
You know, if you want to connect with people, you got to connect with people. You can't just start with what's the suspicious stuff going on, because people in this neighborhood have heard that before, and usually the people who are asking it don't have the best of intentions for them.
That's good advice, sir. Thank you.
Now look, I'm going to go feed the pigeons. If you want to come with, we can talk some more. If not, best of luck on your study. And we can leave that for there, leave things there, and pick up next time with sort of the downtime. Do the sort of conversation with Brickbat as downtime.
I like that plan.
I like that.
Works for me.
Sounds great to me.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for watching, and